Breaking the murder case of a prominent South Bay attorney. Investigators now have a person of interest.
Well, CBS 2's Dave Lopez is live to tell us who they are focusing on. Dave.
Pat, it's taken 8 years. Sometimes it reached dead end after dead end, but in the building behind me, it's a very large company here in Whittier. The man who owns that is named Richard Wall. Now, he had a connection to Mr. Tidus, the attorney who was gunned down in the driveway of his home almost 8 years ago because he was on the losing end of a lawsuit. And now detectives say he is their person.
And he'd get on the train and go around the country.
That's Richard Wall in this YouTube video talking about his Whittier company, Welded Fixtures. It's the same Richard Wall who the Sheriff's Department wants to question in the murder of prominent attorney Jeffrey Tidus, who was gunned down execution style in the driveway of his home in Rolling Hills Estates nearly 8 years ago. December 7th, 2009. There's no way of knowing how to get, if in the case of an emergency, he didn't leave an emergency number or anything like that? He's just traveling in Europe. Okay.
I don't know.
The reaction we got today at Welded Fixtures. According to sheriff's detectives, Wall cannot be reached. He suddenly left for Europe less than a few days ago, and we also have confirmed that his Whittier Hills home is also up for sale for $1 million.
No, I've never given up hope.
Cheryl Tidus, the widow, last April, when the family announced it was adding $90,000 reward money for the conviction of who killed her husband. The reward now $100,000. And detectives say that Wall is not only a person of interest in the Tidus murder, but also in the murder of Juan Mendez, who once worked for Wall's company and was found murdered in February of 2011 at his Whittier apartment. Tidus, a civil attorney, was known in legal circles for winning big money for his clients. In 2007, Tidus won a judgment against Wall. In November of 2009, that case was partially overturned, but $2 million in punitive damages was upheld. And then less than a month later, December 2009, Tidus was murdered. As for Mendez, he sued Wall and won in 2010. In 2011, Mendez was found murdered. Why, after all these years, is the connection made now? Detectives would only say people are coming forward with vital information. In May, detectives released this drawing of a suspect they say who actually killed Tidus. He doesn't even look like Wall. That sketch of that suspect obviously has no name, so the question is very obvious. I asked the detectives, is Wall being a suspect, person of interest, if you will, because he hired that alleged hitman? Did he arrange for the murders? All the detectives would respond to was, we want to question him when we find him. Back to you in the studio.